Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this wet, which is awesome, by the way, January 6th. It is certainly something that we need to see. We'll get more in depth with that with Katie Suniga in just a little bit. But I got to welcome our newest sponsor here at Outdoor GPS. It's also going to be known as the, some of you, well, I know some of you caught it last weekend. We kind of threw it in a little bit early. The Kershaw Tech Cam, and also our official knife here at Outdoor GPS, exclusive official knife. Kershaw, local company here in Oregon. And super proud to have them part of our show. So thank you for their support and their willingness to, well, trust us to kind of keep the word out there. So pretty darn cool. Okay, so this week for me, listen, I will admit this, dumb enough. There were every single day except one. Monday, I was like, I'm fired up, let's go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or no, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Friday. But every day it was, oh man, I should probably go fishing. And guess what? I went hunting. It was super tough. Okay, in the big picture of things, where I am spending my time, and it's, you know, east west covering ground, but I do stay along the Columbia. Of course, I don't go north or south. Okay, I'll just kind of give it in general that way. There ain't any birds, okay? And the way the weather's been this past week, the birds that were there, they just don't move because there's no reason to, literally. I mean, there's just no reason. Access is very difficult because there's no water. Well, it looks like that's going to change a little bit. So, again, when we talk with Katie here in a little bit, we'll find out exactly what's going to happen there. We're going to show you river levels. But overall, this is the best day. Take a look at this photo. This is, and you're going to look at it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ducks right there. And you're going to go, well, you took a selfie, you were by yourself. No, I wasn't solo. My buddy, Mr. Fish, was with me. I mean, it was just a struggle the whole week. It was simply just one of those weeks that you're like, good God, I should have been fishing. But we'll talk about that now. Let's take a look at the river levels. Rivers have been low and clear, right? That's just the way it's been. Makes it very difficult to be confident when you're going to be heading out to go chase some steelhead around. And for me to go out and go chase steelhead, especially in these conditions, I'm bank fishing, right? I'm walking in, I'm covering ground, old school. Honestly, other than the drift boat, my favorite way to go after steelhead is to hike in, one stick in my hand and go, right? And just figure out the best way and the best spots to catch them. Again, I probably should have done that, but low, clear conditions, things are changing. Take a look at the spike. Going forward, though, all of them are showing some sort of a spike. It doesn't matter if it's north coast, central, or south, or inland. All these are going to have a bit of a bounce. You can see where things kind of ramped up. If you were looking at these forecasts ahead of time, this is not necessarily what they were forecasting even along the coast, but it just, of course, we got all that rain last night. And then you're going to see all these are going to continue to go up. The snow on the mountains right now is epic. Thank goodness we got some stuff to talk about. But all these things, this is all good stuff. I mean, I love, and we've talked about this a lot over the years, I love high water, off-color steelhead fishing. The fish are, well, we'll get into it another day. We've already talked about it 1,000 times probably, but I love that, right? When things start to get up here, again, it doesn't matter what system you're on. If you're inland or along the shore, when you see these rivers start to drop back down, even after that high water event, if you're down in here in the 8, 7s on this particular system, as long as the clarity is working for you, go, for crying out loud. If this doesn't move fish into a river system that has a run of winter steelhead, just forget about that system for the rest of the year. I mean, this is literally what we're waiting on. So anyway, hopefully those river levels will give you some excitement on getting out there. But if you do want to get out there, you got to have the stuff that's going to make you successful. And there's no question that most folks, when they are successful, Procure is involved in some way. And here's something that we do each week. We do truly appreciate them doing this for us. Giveaways, or I'm hoping something that we can bring back. But it's awesome that they do this for us. So Steve and Phil and Jason over there, thank you. Jason at Procure. Send them an email and you will be picked. One random person is picked each week. Yes, every single time. I just am too far away from my cell phone to grab last week's winner. But there you go. Make sure you give them a hard time too for me, please, because I appreciate it when folks do that. Also, don't overlook, there's a CCA meeting from Washington coming up, and the guest speaker, who was actually going to be my live interview this morning, but of course things have changed. David Pyle is going to be the guest speaker. Great guy. Listen, just go online, go to YouTube, for crying out loud, and just look up David Pyle. Just type in David Pyle. If you like to get reports real time, especially during spring Chinook season and stuff like that, he's just a great one, or he really is. So he will be that guest speaker. Is the 10th of January. Make sure you go look into that. All right, let's check in with Katie and find out what we can expect. Because listen, she has to listen to me every Saturday and Sunday morning, whine about, I need this, I want that. Well, you're actually bringing it to the table.
I did my little snow dance.
Oh my God, let's keep it up. I love this. I mean, I'm not a snowboarder anymore. I just talk about it, and my knees hurt, which is fine, but there's gonna be a lot of snow up there, isn't there?
Yes, there is. We had a report that came in at 8 o'clock, and we had seen 7 inches in the last 6 hours. Most of that had actually been in the last 4 hours. You can see it's actively snowing right now up at the mountain, and we are looking at some additional snow coming in for us. This is through tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So about this time tomorrow, you can see quite a bit more is headed our way, and then even farther than that. I brought this up real quick. I'm going to try and bust through this because I only get a minute and a half. This is what Owin and I are talking about whenever we say anything past 2 days out, we're going to change. So I'm going to put this in hunting terms for you. You're sitting on the side of a hill, you're looking across the mountain, you're glassing for something, and something catches your eye. That's what this is right here for us. 7 to 10 days out, that's the pattern recognition. Then you start to zoom in a little more and you focus and you're like, okay, is that, just some branches, or is that actually horns or antlers? No, okay. Trending up, yes, it's looking like a deer. Trending down, no, that's just a bush that caught my attention that blew in the wind. Then we get 3 to 5 days out and we're like, okay, this is coming. It's likely. Is it going to be snow or ice? What's the intensity? And then you get in that 1 to 3 day range, and that's when you can start talking details, amounts, exact location, timing. Here is the pattern that we are recognizing. Have this trough that's coming down. Things stay mild for us, wet, not too cold. Then we get into Tuesday. We're starting to see this drop down, but it's dropping a little farther. This particular model is not showing it as cold as some of the others are. Some of the others have this air on us as we go into Friday. This one's showing it dropping down just a little more. So that's what we have our eye on. That's what we're paying attention to. And that's why we have next Friday as a possible first alert weather day. Temperatures in the Portland metro could be in the upper 30s. Woo! And we have a bunch of rain between now and then, but I'm not given enough time to talk about that.
Just love the analogy. You had me on the edge of my seat, and I'm standing here. I can just picture myself looking through.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. You have the broad view and you're like, oh, what's that? And then as you zoom in, you start focusing and focusing until you get right in and you can be like, okay, this is what I'm looking at. That's what we do. All
the way down to the flicker veneer. How many of you have seen the flicker and gone, oh God. Anyway, Katie, that's awesome. We're looking so forward to it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Now, we do have a phone call that's hanging right now. Ryan, can I take it? Okay, who is it again? Linda from Boring. Linda, how are you this morning? Looks like you have a comment about the sturgeon fishery. Real quickly, what do you have for everyone?
It stunk. We were up at Cascade Lock Sunday and Wednesday both, and we talked to the tribal police, and they said nobody was catching anything. And the Forest Service said nobody was catching anything. We drowned lots of squid. We drowned lots of herring, even some smelt. Sand shrimp, nothing other than getting poured on, but you should have been there. We saw lots of ducks.
Well, it certainly is. It sounds like you really gave it your best bet. You threw a bunch of baits at it. Were you fishing out of a boat, Linda, or were you right there at Cascade Locks off the bank?
No, we were there at Cascade Locks on the bank of the island.
Gotcha.
We crossed the channel and we were fishing there on the island. Mm-hmm. And about 12 o'clock, we gave that up and came back and fished there at the channel, which is the reason we caught the intertribal herring salmon net and had to help the police untangle from the tribal net. But we caught nothing, and we saw about 24 boats coming in, and we talked to them, and they were catching nothing.
Yeah,
So I don't know what the heck they thought they were doing, closing sturgeon fishing, because nothing was biting.
Well, I'll say this, Linda, upriver, quite a ways away from where you were, you know, that Hood River area, and of course below a ways, you know, where the wind wasn't really wiping people out in their boats or whatever else. The fishing was extremely good, and there was really a lot of fish caught, and we're going to talk about that this upcoming segment. Linda, thanks for your phone call, and it's next time, right? You just got to take advantage of those opportunities when you can. When we come back from this break, we're going to have Bill Monroe Jr., well, excuse me, I got that wrong. I got ahead of myself. I'm getting excited. We got David Johnson. We're going to check in and get a real-time crabbing report from the North Coast area, find out how that's been, and also probably give you some advice that you're going to want to pause a little bit just because conditions are changing. But we're going to give you some info when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.